Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the New Paradigm Love podcast. And I am so excited this morning. This amazing synchronicity has happened where I'm getting to speak to, actually, I didn't even ask how to pronounce your name, but Sven is the first name.
Yes, yes, that's right.
And
Sven.
how do you say your last name?
Chanton.
Chanton. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Sven Chanton, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm feeling so blessed and excited to be here and speak to you, Shakti. So thank you.
Mm, same, mirroring. I was just saying before we started recording that I was literally on Instagram yesterday, a reel of Sven's popped up, and as
Mm,
I heard and felt what he was saying, it just resonated so deeply as pure truth and very aligned with my own sort of calling and work that I just
mm,
felt compelled to reach out. Um, and for those of you who are going to be watching this, I'm just going to say, because I don't even know yet, what it says on your Instagram is you are a channel for divine love,
mm,
sacred intimacy, breath work, and Christ consciousness.
mhm.
Like, wow.
A lot.
Um, and actually, I guess I should say for those in your audience who may be watching, I describe myself, it's taken me a long time to find the words to describe myself, but as a modern day Dakini and a priestess of love.
Mm, mm,
So that's where the alignment is, I feel, in our mutual paths. So
mhm.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful.
So who are you, Sven? Where have you come from? It's like you've just popped up out of nowhere, just dropping all this beautiful truth and heart inspired. It's like it feels like you're speaking from the heart of
Mm,
existence.
mhm. Well, I guess I'm on the journey myself of discovering more and more of who I am, you know. It's a tough question, but it feels even for myself to be out of nowhere, to be honest. And probably that is the spiritual journey in many ways. I've been the last 7 years, 8 years, um, on such a search, you could say, for happiness, actually joy. I wouldn't even call it spirituality. I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be joyful. I came from being very much involved in sports, in performance. I was competing in ski racing and I got injured. So I think my spiritual journey started after an injury. After an injury, traveling to Bali, a decade of trying to please people, to perform for them, to get validation through my skills, and then ending up in the hospital, really asking myself, what am I doing here? Why is this happening to me? And yeah, that set me a bit on the journey. And again, it was just to heal my pain, my emotional pain, and also physical pain. I came across breath work in Bali, which gave me that first little input of the ego, of realizing that there is something beneath my emotional nature, there's something beneath my thoughts. But you know, that hero journey is interesting. You make little encounters and then you go back into your life. That was also my case. I made that encounter with the soul, with that presence within me, but not trusting it at all. Actually being scared of it, being scared of my light, being scared of the love, being scared of sharing that truth that I felt resonating within me. And so when you say it's coming out of nowhere, it's funny you say that. That sentence really sticks to me because just recently I started to trust the message more and more and also giving it open-heartedly into the public. And that is when the shift feels to happen way faster. It accelerates everything in my life previously, how it is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I so get this. Things I want to highlight for those people who are going to listen to this is so often it seems, for myself and everyone that I know who's kind of on a similar path, is like there can be a trigger point or a moment of difficulty, of challenge, of like really being hit by something hard in life that can activate this impulse for awakening. Like for me, it was divorce,
Mm,
separation, being losing all my money, like, big
mm,
things happened. And then it was like, okay, what do I do now? And the impulse to search and to seek healing for myself.
mm,
And the other thing that really resonates from what you've said is how, like, um, the integration of those moments of like recognition when the veils kind of go and it's like, okay, yeah, now I know we're all one, like, and then the veils come back again and
mhm,
this thing. But then this daring, well, I don't know if daring is the right word. It could just be like the clear impulse, like I can't deny who I am anymore,
mhm.
or
Yeah,
what needs to be. It just has to
yeah.
be. And it's not even about the self anymore. It just has to.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that pain, I mean, you described this so well and you made this experience yourself, but the pain of being in the old self, the self that is really still in chains of the ego, still trying to please, still not trusting that there is any divine intelligence, the pain of staying in that comfort and that safety of the ego eventually becomes too much that at some point, I believe pain brings you to that point where you say, now I do not have any other choice actually than following that inner voice.
Yeah.
Because all the rest I tried. I tried to chase the money, I tried to chase the partners, I even tried to make the relationship work. I have truly given my best to arrange my external circumstances to a certain degree so that I feel happy. But now here I am, not happy, more attached, more powerless. So I do not have another choice than following that spiritual self, the true self, that voice within. And that these are powerful moments in the life of people. And it seems like we are collectively reaching that point, which is beautiful.
I know. Yeah, it feels like something's accelerating. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, it's always accelerating, but even like now, like I
Hmm.
would say even personally in the last month, something's shifted. I've
Hmm.
been doing this practice where I write every morning now. I have three sacred desires, and every morning I write them down and I'll sit and meditate with those three, the same ones every day. And it's been really accelerating stuff. I mean, I think that's partly why I'm speaking to you now because it's really aligned with what I've been writing. So,
Hmm.
like, wow, like something is shifting, and there's this greater sense of like, if an impulse comes, like there's still the part
Hmm.
of me that doubts it to reach out to you. I was like, oh, I can't reach out to him. Like he's amazing. He's got loads of followers. I can't do that. And I was like, no,
Hmm.
that's rubbish. Just trust the impulse. It's pure.
Yes,
It's not
yes.
about me wanting something. It was just pure.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. And that is where life starts to change too. I always say it is easy or fairly easy to feel intuitive, to feel, to hear the voice, but to actually trust it, that is where true faith is coming in. That is where it's beautiful that you act on it. Again, if you wouldn't act on that part, we wouldn't be sitting here sharing this beautiful conversation. And also from my part, my ego, would it be like, oh, who is that? And I should only get paid or whatever the nonsense of the ego would be telling me, that would be sad. And the more we are in tune with it, the more all of these things do not matter anymore, you know? And we feel things like this now, it happens really fast. Synchronicity's there. You texted me yesterday. It was so aligned. Now I'm sitting here. And that is, yeah, it's divinely orchestrated when we follow that, these deeper impulses.
Yeah, I've like literally got like all these goosebumps on my whole body now because it really is. It's just and
Hmm.
I'm suddenly also in that I'm looking back and I don't actually feel, I don't feel regret, but looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, all the times I overrode
Hmm.
the divine impulse
Hmm.
out of
Yeah.
fear, out of self-doubt, basically. For
Hmm.
me, those are the things like fear and self-doubt. Oh, I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, we all share that so much. It's like it still is, right? Even the closer you get to the awareness, I think that's the beauty of this earth life to some degree. It is trial and error. You feel the impulses, there are times you follow it, there are times you don't, and also that is fine. Even the times which you get off the path by not following the impulse, every time I got back personally to the path, I had a new revelation. I had something discovered on that path. And so, how can we even call it a mistake? In this divine way, it's not even a mistake, it's a learning phase. So, we can literally not do it wrong here.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think of it as a spiral. And
Mm,
sometimes like I feel like I'm spiraling down and I can't see anymore. So because I go into the dark, like I go down somewhere and I'm like, I've lost somehow it feels like I've lost the light for a moment. And then
hmm.
I spiral back up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, but every time I come back up, I bring something with me, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's why I went down there. And then there's this new layer of that's gone or a new insight or a more
Yes.
greater sense of alignment or purpose, true
Mm,
purpose, something. So that's how I kind of always feel it works in my
yeah.
system.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautifully explained. Yeah.
Tell me something about Christ consciousness, like
Mm.
what that is for you.
Hmm. Well, my story goes back to being brought into a very, or at least from my mother's side, very religious, and always being forced to go to church as a kid, or forced, that sounds very harsh, but she wanted us kids to go very much to church. And I had a very big rebellion against religion, churches, and with it, unfortunately, also against Jesus. I pushed that away because my intuitive sense was something is not quite right with this religious thing. All of that fear, sinful behavior, um, yeah, it just didn't make sense. So I pushed it away, but yet my soul was still brought in into that family or into these circumstances. I'm pretty sure because I remember as a kid having Jesus Christ hanging above my bed, and again I went through a period where I rejected all of it. But through breath work, through coincidences, books, I got closer to that consciousness of Christ. And I realized that Jesus has nothing to do with religion. And that I also still now, when I speak about Jesus, which is a figure in my life that is giving me tremendous many gifts, when I speak about it, I can still hear how he's attached to religion and stuff, and I don't like it. I believe even he didn't like it because it's misunderstood in many ways. For
Yeah.
me, Christ consciousness, it is, yeah, for me, it's, that divine feminine and masculine aspect inside of us that is in perfect equilibrium. For me, Jesus Christ was the embodiment of that divine union within oneself. Yeah. And also through meditations and calling upon his consciousness, what I can feel is a opening in my heart, a compassion, the actual message of him of unconditional love,
Mm,
of serving my brothers and sisters.
mm,
And I believe for me, he is the greatest teacher of mine, which I can call upon in spirit, who really helps me to transcend these ego parts, these fears. Yeah. So for me, prayer has become such an important tool, which he brought me closer to as well. Um, to really depend, or not depend maybe, but to really commune with this higher force, knowing that this higher force is there helping me to overcome my ego self. Because I've been working a lot in breath work, in movement, meditation, and all of these tools are wonderful.
mm,
Yet there was always me doing it, me wanting to get a spiritual height for my own indulgence. What I love with Christ consciousness is that I know that none of these tools really matter unless I open myself to knowing that I am in this web, this divine web that is interacting with me, and that I can call upon it, and that I can use these tools for that it flows into me, through me effortlessly. And that makes me not at all feeling alone or isolated. And yeah, I think that is where Jesus is really much touching my life in the way I think he was wanting to touch our lives, not through religion, not through fear, but through a deep compassion of unconditional love.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you have a connection to Jesus? Is there a interest, or what is your journey in that Shakti?
Um, Kind of same but opposite. So I didn't come from a religious family at all. Everyone was atheist. And then when I was a teenager, I had this spiritual awakening of my own. I just walked into a church at the end of the road and
Mm,
converted to Christianity because I just felt
okay.
this longing in my heart for
Hmm.
God. So I did that. But after being in the church for a long time until I was about 21, there were things that didn't sit right for me, the same as you, like the judgment of other people. I was like, that just doesn't feel true. I can't like,
Mm,
and this whole condemnation of like, if you don't believe in this, you will go to hell, basically,
hmm.
and
Hmm.
that didn't sit right with me either. And I guess it was also when my sexuality was waking up
Mm,
and the whole teaching of like, shaming sexuality also kind of, I mean, I wasn't sexually active. I was celibate until I was 21, but like there was something there that also didn't sit right. So then I
hmm.
kind of left it all and came right back around when I had like another awakening much later, um, where I began to kind of get into how does sexuality and spirituality, how can I live a life where
Mm,
I include my profound sensuality
mm,
without shame and align that with my spirituality as one. So that then became my life path.
mm,
So walking like more the tantric way,
hmm.
and the priestess way. And then through that, I connected with Magdalene.
Oh, yeah.
She's been kind of more, I mean, well, you can't separate her and Christ, right? So
Hmm.
for me, but yeah, so then like really tapping into that same energy of sacred union and sacred sexuality and divine love. That's then
Mm,
become part of my embodiment and calling, I suppose, you know?
hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
really seeing how like they're inseparable and how the feminine was written out of religion and how sexuality was written out of religion, but also how then those parts of humanity have been so distorted.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's powerful. I think it's a very good point you touch on to there because it's the institutions they wanted us to control us by fear, by being dependent on them, and to awaken to the truth that God is within and around us, and that we have access to it. It would mean that we are no more dependent on institution or externalized teachers or priests in this sense, but that we can really find the kingdom of heaven within. And I believe that division that happens between females and males or couples in general, it is really much it wants us to not realize that through divine union with men and women, we can actually realize God. We can actually get into direct communion through sex, through interacting with each other. We can touch onto the divine, and I believe that this is something the world doesn't want to a certain degree. That's why porn is for free. That's
yeah.
why the movies and many influences that we get are really trying to separate and create somewhat of a war between men and women or female and male dynamics. Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah,
Hard, which is
yeah.
why I'm doing this podcast. I mean, it's been like a long, long history, but like I came back, I kind of took some sabbatical from work for a while and then came back and the impulse for me was to come back. I've been blogging about dating. My blog is
Hmm.
called Dating as Devotion because I love the word devotion. So it's
Mm.
bringing consciousness or awareness into every interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And then this podcast, New Paradigm Love, because the old way just doesn't work. The old way just creates, as you say, the separation. And my knowing really is that when men and women like really align with their truth, there's just this capacity, this co-creative, natural
Mm-hmm.
expansion of love, like into infinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is the, we are shifting because now we see that there is a human love and there is a divine love, and there is human consciousness and divine consciousness. And devotion is such a beautiful word again, because in order to love someone for a long period of time, I believe, or feel inside of my soul, if I can say that, but you need to draw unconditional love from the divine, because the human consciousness that is based on I love her because she looks like that, or I love him because he makes this money, or because he does this and doesn't do that, this love is very much on an ego based. It is, as long as this gives me pleasure and as long as this satisfies me, I'm going to love her, I'm going to love him. And the moment she or he leaves, I'm going to be upset and scared and broken and heartbroken and all of these things. But that truly does not really have so much to do with love, does it? It is attachment. And so it is wonderful to, the moment we realize that through divine union, through coming together in such a powerful way, and also knowing that when I am in a relationship, first and foremost, what I wish for the woman is that she realizes God within her, that she commits and devotes to her own spiritual evolution to God, and I do the same. And that commitment and that devotion is actually much more powerful than devoting yourself to the partner itself or some timeline specifically. Because if you devote yourself to God, you will naturally come to unconditional love, and that will take care of the commitment or devotion that is happening between you.
Mm. Beautiful. I really love this.
Yeah.
I'm going to give like concrete example of something actually, because this like everything's just kicking off right now. So yeah, I'm just going to do it. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I met someone at New Year's Eve. It
Hmm.
was like this magical cosmic whoom that happened, just seeing into each other's souls kind of thing. And I just was like open instantly. We've journeyed in various ways for the last 5 months, and we both are like calling in divine love and divine union. He's
Hmm.
way younger than me, like way, way younger. And
Hmm.
he's been like, logically, this can't work, this can't work, this can't work. And I'm like, I just love you unconditionally. Like, let's do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Um, Last night, so we've been having this dance that's been going on. And, I agreed to have this conversation with you today.
Hmm.
Last night, I was in bed, going to bed early because I thought, right, I want to be on form. There was this loud knocking on my door. It was
Hmm.
him.
Okay.
And he came here and we sat and we had this beautiful heart sharing,
Mm.
so beautiful about, yes, we absolutely love one another and we absolutely are calling in our sacred union. And it cannot be in this timeline that it's us, but
Hmm.
just the unconditional love that
Hmm.
is in the field between us is so beautiful. There is no, that it's just pure love.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I've had this experience of true unconditional love in a way
Yeah.
I don't know if I have before, like where I really don't, I'm not trying to get something for me.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
just like, I love you unconditionally. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want everything you want for you.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous,
Yeah.
very touching.
That's beautiful. If we touch on unconditional love, that's the funny thing. It's a very true thing that you say, that you think, have I ever experienced that? Because the nature of unconditional love itself is expansion. It is the vastness of the universe that is constantly expanding. So it is always new and fresh. but new and fresh in a different way. It's not new and fresh. I need a different face. I need a different body. I need multiple partners. That is a very shallow freshness or newness. But the unconditional love is such an inner expansion that you shed so many different aspects of yourself in the relationship that you cannot become bored because you see he is changing identities, he's evolving, you are evolving, and you support that growth, you know. So yeah, it's beautiful you make this experience. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel so blessed.
Yeah,
Um,
wonderful.
yeah, and I want to ask because I haven't looked much at your content. If I'm really honest, I just saw yesterday, so I'm like, wow, 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 wow. But
Yeah.
like in your content, you speak directly to men and women about relating. You speak directly about intimacy,
Hmm.
and you're answering, because I can see that I was reading the comments. You're speaking to people's hearts. You're speaking to people's longings
Hmm.
and you're a man and I as myself, obviously I'm older than you. I've been on this journey in a but in a different way.
Yeah.
I myself and many women like around me, we have been saying like, where are the men? Like, where are the conscious men? Like, where are they? Where are they? And I'm
Hmm.
seeing this new, like a generation like behind me, I guess, of men now like waking up, like so awake like you are. And it's
Hmm.
really exciting.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. I
It's
see that, yeah.
go on.
I see that question a lot. Where are these men? You know, they slide in DMs and they can't manifest. And it's funny, you know. That's why it is all a vibrational content. Like these men that if the woman has learned, because I believe in the feminine collective, it's a lot about worth, a lot about finding the true sense of beauty.
Mm,
And the more you step into that self worth, into that beauty that comes from your soul, the more you open yourself to that unconditional love within yourself, sharing yourself with the world, the more you start to enter that vibrational vortex where these men can also come, where they are invited. It might be less in the world today, but it doesn't mean, you know, we live in an abundant universe. It will attract those men. And even more important is, which I always love to say to women, that they are a spiritual oracle, and you women have the intuitive sense of true unconditional love. You know in that is encoded in the depths of your soul. And when are you, divine beings, truly stepping into that knowledge, truly committing, devoting yourself to that, meaning that everything that is not in alignment with that truth within you, you do not have to keep up with it. Women staying in relationship that are either abusive or not good or with unconscious men, trying to fix them, trying to do their spiritual journey. There are
yeah.
plenty of those women who open up their sexuality way too fast just to please, to perform out of fear that they are not going to be loved. That actually, how do you say, it slows down the spiritual evolution. It slows down the capacity for us men to actually understand or step into our sensuality and into our spirituality. As long as man still can just get laid and just get that fast rush of dopamine, and they feel like they can still manipulate women, then they might be so blinded in their comfort that they do not want to change. But as well, when women truly accept their true divine nature, there is such a, I think Shakti has it, which is this fierce love. You know, it can burn things down. It is not always just loving and stuff, it can burn things down. And when a woman is like, I am not taking anything that is less than
Yeah.
my fullest spiritual potential. I'm not keeping up with that. I don't want that. Then men very fast have to change something. They have to really dive into themselves. Otherwise they will just end up alone. So it's a
Mhm.
responsibility obviously of both, but yeah.
Yep. Yep. I know the Kali energy, the very fierce
Kali,
love,
yes, yes. You know
very
better,
like
yeah.
she's straight to the point and takes like no shit.
Yes,
I know
yes.
that, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also know the parts of me that have, and I'm just saying this for myself, but for every woman, that have settled,
Mm-hmm.
accommodated, people pleased,
Mm-hmm.
been afraid of being too big, been afraid of being too much, been
Mm-hmm.
afraid of losing the man I'm now attached to by actually
Mm-hmm.
being true. So I know all these places in myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been working with women for 20 years. So I know those places
Mm-hmm.
and I see, yeah, it's on both sides, like how women have this immense spiritual power to lead and
Mm-hmm.
to initiate.
Yes.
And it requires us to fucking be in integrity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes it's tempting not to be, right? Or it
Yes.
has been, it has been,
Yes.
But
Yes.
I can see like the little ways in which, you know,
Mm-hmm.
things have gotten in myself, things have kind of gotten out of alignment or out of integrity, or sh I've shrunk myself in the
Mm-hmm.
fear that if I really show like everything that I am, like no
Mm-hmm.
man is going to be able to match that or meet that. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
then like, because I have been like looking at what's going on in the collective, I do see so many men like leading with sex,
Mm-hmm.
right? Leading with that. Like I was on dating apps for a year just experimenting.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 95 to 98% of the men who approach me were driven by like a sexual
Mm-hmm.
impulse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah. 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 We are. Yeah, again, I think from childhood on, we men are exposed to porn. It really shapes our brain. It shapes our way of how we see women, you know. It is deeply ingrained in us, truly, and imprinted into us to see a woman like this. Um, and yeah, it's beneath that, Shakti, is a fear, you know, that the actual thing to rush into sex, it's always a fear. It's basically we men have lost also our own self-worth and our masculinity, and we believe that we can find it in the sexual intimacy with a woman. We actually look for that missing piece of masculine strength inside of us, and we look to a woman. And it is funny that why do we rush or why do we often try so fast to go into it? It's we are also scared that if we show who we truly are as a man, she is not going to have sex with me. So I better put on these masks, manipulate, and get into bed with her as fast as possible. Because then I get a false sense of intimacy, of being validated. And if that part then is satisfied, well, what is a man doing? It's what most women know. He will leave, or he gets cold, or he's not no more interested. Yeah, he got that little nagging thing of the ego, and now he looks for the next one that he can get because yeah, now he got it. I want to see if I'm worth again. I want to see if I can go to a bar and actually get the next one. And beneath that is just a boy who is very, very scared and doesn't feel needed. He doesn't feel needed in life. And if a man stops feeling truly needed, that his gifts and that his presence actually serves women and the world, what does it do with him? He becomes someone who takes. Porn is taking, he just wants women. He actually starts to be in this bottomless and restless state of taking. And the moment a man truly knows that the way he has sex with a woman and the way he sees her, it has a profound effect on life and on the soul of that woman. And he will start asking himself, how can I serve actually? How is my, you see, the biological nature of a man is he's giving the seed, he's giving life force to a woman, and she's giving birth to that. She's nurturing that. She's creating life out of it. And that is also spiritually speaking. You know, a
Yeah.
man is there to give life force, to give something into it. And in that rush of sex, I'm not saying that the time matters in a sense. If you feel a great connection and you know it's soul based, that can happen really fast. I'm not saying that. But mostly, um, it is over time. It's a foreplay of like sometimes months where you are just like in the energy and you see how much is the energy giving, how much am I um, able to open this woman on every other level through my presence. And when she's open emotionally, spiritually with her heart, and I can feel her playful, emotional spirit radiating through her, then I might want to penetrate deeper with my being, with my physicality. And that is a way different way. It's way more beautiful. It's way more vulnerable, but intimate. And
Mm.
yeah, that's powerful.
Mm. I think every woman who listens to you speaking in this way is going to be like, oh my God, yes. And
Mm,
maybe I'm imagining some men may be like, how does that work? Or how does that meet my needs? That's kind of what I'm imagining. And I also want to say something again, because I know men and
hmm
women listen to these and watch these, which is that um, I want to just say, if only you knew, this is for men, if only you knew, like I feel emotional saying it, but if only you knew how much beauty, love, devotion you can evoke in a woman through your presence
mm,
and through your patience and through your desire to truly see who she is
mm,
and love that. Like, I just feel like in the world, there is so little of this actually happening. And there's like so much untapped
mm,
beauty and love waiting to emerge that cannot emerge at the moment into the world because a lot of women don't feel safe. And this is not blaming men, because like we said before, it's taking two.
hmm
But it's like the conditions for that opening,
hmm
it's there's infinite gifts and blessings ready to emerge, and they can
Yes.
only emerge when the masculine is true and honorable and present and loving and devoted, like you say, and in service. That's kind of the message
hmm
that I want to share in response to what you've shared.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful what you say. And it's absolutely true, Shakti. This beauty and devotion that it can evoke. I'm always telling men, it is hard to tell a man, just stop watching porn, just stop having casual sex or using women for it. There is a lot of resentment and they might not want to give up these needs. But if you tell them, look, brother, I have seen and come in touch with a beauty that really gives shivers to my entire being. It shakes me like that tenderness and gentleness of of a woman that is present and opens her heart with you.
Mm.
It evokes pleasures within your heart, body, in every level that you can only dream of. There's no porn, there's no great sexual, I don't know what games that can even get close to what she
Mhm.
has to offer on the depths of her soul. And if they get in touch and if they know there is something so much more profound, there is simply no desire left to go into the shallow parts. That was my experience. In the
Mm.
beginning, it didn't help to just blame myself and why am I doing this and I should stop watching porn and all of these things. It didn't help. What helped was when I had the clear encounter with a woman that broke, it opened everything in me in these moments. And I knew that that's what life is. That's what life is about, this beauty. And that is also in life, right? We have this distorted relationship, not just with women, but with life. We believe the pleasure is in the cars, in the money, in the holidays we get. But have you ever been sitting in nature, quieting your mind, open your heart, listen to the birds, the wind going through the trees, and you suddenly felt like some divine intelligence touches and plays strings on your heart that feel like you just I don't know, you open in bliss, and then you realize that is pleasure is even the wrong word. That is bliss. It's not the tiramisu. It's not the food and indulgence. It's really in those moments. So it's not about condemning anyone or blaming. It's truly opening up to them. Hey, there is a different life. There's a life of pure beauty, joy, creativity, and I want for you to experience that.
Yes. Question, what does it take for for a man who's listening, watching this? What are the steps? I think that that might be a question. What are the concrete steps? I can hear someone saying, "Well, I go and sit in nature, and yeah, I see a tree. I don't, but I'm not feeling this bliss." Like, what are you talking
Hmm.
about? Like,
Mm,
what are the steps? Like concrete from like I'm in my life, I'm doing okay. I
hmm.
get dissatisfied on a regular basis. I don't have a great relationship. Sometimes, like what do I do to kind of shift this
Hmm.
to what you're describing? And is that really possible? Like, really?
Hmm. Hmm. Well, it is, yes. Um, yeah, I think there comes Christ consciousness into the game. It is maybe less of what do I do or what new retreat am I going to or doing these things can help, but
Mm,
eventually, really what sets the foundation is this wholehearted intention that you feel like, okay, I would love to experience what Sven is talking about. I would love to experience this beauty. And sitting down and really asking to intelligence, to spirit, that it penetrates your consciousness more and more and showing you these realms, knowing that you can literally ask and you are being given, knowing that you can just open yourself as much as you're open at that moment, even if it's a tiny bit that you want to sit down and say, I would love to experience beauty, bliss, more joy, divine intelligence, father, mother consciousness, however you call it. Please show me the way on how I can do that best, you
mm,
know. And yeah, sometimes the answer of the prayer might be pain. Sometimes, exactly when you pray, maybe somebody leaves you, and the pain is doing such a great service that the heartbreak, everyone who feels into a heartbreak, into that deep pain, you will feel that softness and gentleness arising from it. And that's God starting to speak. Sometimes it needs to crack open the ego, and that cracking hurts. So even if you go and ask for prayer and you don't feel immediately the beauty is coming into my life and I feel so good, no, maybe in the beginning it's actually pain, it's actually uncomfort that you meet. And
mm,
even there, having that faith that you are in that process, you are being heard, and that intelligence starts to work on you. I would say, if you ask me concrete steps, then is really prayer that comes from the heart, what you seek, what you truly want. Reveal to me the beauty of my soul, the beauty of this life, what's possible. Just reveal it to me, divine consciousness. And then sitting in that stillness for a while. Start with 10 minutes, just observing the breath, emptying the mind as much as you can, and have that faith that it will start coming into your life, because it will. So prayer and meditation would be my way to go. Yeah.
mm, mm. Thank you. And I think it's really important the thing that you also said about the discomfort
Hmm.
and the pain, because I think there's a real belief in the culture that if somebody is in emotional discomfort of any kind, that there's something wrong. And I think
Hmm.
probably especially for men, like a conditioned avoidance of intense emotion, like, like a fear of the feminine within themselves as much as in the
Hmm.
external. And that's like a social conditioning.
Hmm.
But my personal experience and my seeing and like from working with many people is on this journey, like there have been many moments of breaking down to break through. There have been many moments of, we all process differently, like what heartbreak that has felt like death. And in a way, I
Hmm.
guess it is a form of ego death.
Mm-hmm.
where it's felt like viscerally so painful. I literally thought, I can't do this anymore. This is too much,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And then, of course, at a certain point, I'm on the other side of that suffering.
Yeah.
And my heart has opened, my heart has softened. I have a
Mm-hmm.
fresh insight. There's something that's shifted within me that's been alchemized. And I'm not saying we always
Mm-hmm.
have to go through pain, but I do believe that if we're really dedicated to this path, then discomfort is part of the ride.
Mm-hmm.
But at a certain point, you just know that you accept it and you understand that there's a
Mm-hmm.
medicine, like when you take like cacao, for example,
Mm-hmm.
it's bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's unless you add sugar, but you're not, and sometimes medicine can be bitter tasting.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong necessarily if there's a moment of pain, if there's a moment of grief, because
Mm-hmm.
so many of these, I would say for most people, there are so many unprocessed emotions that need to
Mm-hmm.
be cleared out for
Mm-hmm.
the vessel of the body to
Mm-hmm.
open to the bliss.
Mm-hmm.
That is our
Yeah.
natural state.
Mm-hmm.
That is always available, but sometimes like the body has become so dense
Mm-hmm.
with like shutting down and numbing out and
Mm-hmm.
distraction and repressed or like held down emotions
Yeah.
that's going to need to just
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That is
really.
this, yeah. That is that armor, that survival mechanism of the ego, and I want life my way and I want to protect myself and that creates it. And again, in prayer, that's where it's beautiful, where eventually you come to that surrender. You said that if if I have this partner, this girlfriend, this boyfriend, then I am in love. That is your ego talking, that is your self will. And then this is taken away. It's actually the opportunity to say, wow, you give me the more accurate, true meaning of unconditional now. You open myself, my eyes. I want to surrender. It's so painful, but no matter how painful it is, I want to open in that pain because I have this faith that divine loving intelligence is really taking care of me. It's not you alone. It's not you being left. You cannot be left by this intelligence. And in the midst of that deep pain, to surrender to that divine intelligence doing it to you, that is that is the symbol of Jesus Christ hanging on the cross. You give up that part of you completely open and you say, divine intelligence, do your work onto me. I know that you will lead me to a love that is more profound than the girlfriend who just left me or the wife that left me. It is way more profound than any earthly love that I attached myself to. And that is a beautiful state of being in, or at least coming out afterwards. As you say, you extract that medicine.
Mm. Surrender is a word that I wrote down. I wrote down surrender and
Mm.
humility, which I think can be quite big things for the ego to become humble enough. Well, I mean, I've been humbled. So
Yeah, we
at a
all.
certain point, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, uh, um, I have this image when you were speaking that also of like being, I had this image of being on my knees, it's like giving it up, like, okay, I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. This is
Mm.
yeah, thy will happens, it's or something like that, but in the Bible it's that his will or that higher will. And yeah, I think the necessary thing for me at least to surrender is this absolute faith. I know, if I doubt that there is loving intelligence, if I doubt that there is something listening to every need of mine and wanting my highest good, if I doubt it, it's very hard to surrender. I will cling on to the expectations of that life meets my needs and stuff. I will cling on even harder. But knowing that this intelligence always works for my best benefit, no matter what happens, this still doesn't make it easy to surrender, but it gives me the courage to surrender.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
totally. Again, like so much personal learning around this of everything is always working in my favor, even when it looks like
Mhm.
everything's gone wrong.
Mhm.
Even when it looks like, the very thing I wanted, I don't get. Even when it looks like I've just lost the person I'm totally in love with. Even when it looks like, how's this even going to happen? All of it,
Mhm.
when I look back historically, it's like, oh my gosh, if only I'd known that was just creating this and that was just creating that. But
Mhm.
there was like this very strong part of me that was like so like I could say it's like a tension in my system,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
clinging on, clinging on,
Yeah.
clinging on. And then, just this
Mm.
there's this growing sense of trust and flow that emerges from the not knowing and
Mhm.
just allowing and
Mhm.
accepting. I
Mhm.
accept this. I accept this fully.
Mhm.
That's what is.
Yeah.
I listen a lot to Peter Crone as well. I think he's awesome, and he talks about like all suffering comes out of resisting what is.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's where also when you say this tension, that's where I love breath work, right? Breath in the old scripture, it is the same word for wind and spirit and
mm,
breath. So in breath work, it's beautiful when you start breathing, conscious connected breath work, you start literally seeing that as if spirit starts to enter more and more your body and it starts to press against your ego armor protections, the body starts to shake or emotions start to bubble up, and the more you breathe you cannot suppress it anymore, and it starts to run, it starts to be cleansed through spirit, through breath, and things start to open until spirit starts to flow more and more through you the way it wants to flow through you. You become more intuitive, you become more in tune with spirit, um you really happily sacrifice that self-will, and you really ask, what does spirit, God, divine want to do through me right now? I'm giving the full control because I know that as I do so, I'm always met with the needs that I have. I have a wonderful life of fulfillment. I actually serve others. So, yeah, it becomes easier and easier trusting that divine force.
mm. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yes, yes.
almost an hour. Crikey, how did that time go?
It was
Um,
fast.
yeah,
What's your time frame? Do you want to stop? Do you have a specific time?
I was expecting to speak to you for an hour, and I think it would be
Okay.
good if we keep it to that. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe, like, if we've enjoyed this, maybe we can do it again.
Of course, yes.
'Cause
Yes.
yeah, I really enjoyed this. I would love to ask you then a final question for now.
Mm-hmm.
Just asking you to tune in and just see what message you might have for men and women who are really like they know that they are called to this path of divine love. They know this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is your message? It may be for both the same, or it may be a separate message for women and a separate message for men. But like, yeah, what when you tune in, what is alive to say to
Mm. Let's approach this because most who have that, they will probably like a rational answer. But let me do a prayer, okay?
them? Okay.
They can listen it just 2 3 minutes, because prayer, it can penetrate consciousness layers that are beyond the rational mind, and they can start doing something in the background. So let me see what intuitively comes through. And yeah, I invite everyone who feels called to just close their eyes, look slightly up into their forehead, and become present into their body, just feeling how the breath naturally flows in and out, and then gently listening to my words without trying to make sense of them, without even trying to understand, but letting those words penetrate the deeper layers of your soul and consciousness. You are so loved in every second and every moment. You must understand and know that you are divinely guided because you are loved by existence. If you hear those words and if you are in this physical experience, dear listener, you must know that you are very much needed in this time. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You carry gifts inside of your heart that the world longs for. You can no longer just watch from the sidewalk, from the sidelines. You are here to participate. You are here to open so bravely and courageously that everybody can drink from your medicine. The gifts you have are uniquely yours, and the way you share yourself with the world is in a unique way that no other one can share themselves with. So I pray for your utmost courage. I pray for you that you are no more doubting that inner voice that is arising in moments of silence. And here is the point. Trust that you came for one purpose, and that purpose is to love others, to uplift, inspire, heal, protect. And you truly have the power and wisdom from lifetimes ago to really do that, to really uplift and protect. So I pray that you stop hiding. I pray that you stop doubting yourself and that you come fully to life, that you fully step into your potential. There's nothing less that I wish for you, because in that service to the world, in that giving yourself to the world, you will find yourself living the most blissful life ever. I love you. Mm.
Ah, that is like nectar. Like I have this image of like nectar, like trickling down
Yeah,
inside. Beautiful.
nice. Beautiful. This was a joy. This was a joy being here with you.
Oh, thank you so
Mm.
much. Before I sign off the recording, is there anything that you want to say to people who might want to connect with you, with your
Mm.
work, with what you're offering?
Yeah. Um, I do offer a lot of one-on-one sessions. It's always people who seek me out. I'm not much of a marketing guy these days, unless I just the things that I do on Instagram, they can follow me there. But everyone who seek me out, send me a message. There's also my email address on Instagram. And yeah, I love to talk to people, to channel for them, to be in breath work and yeah, release their grip of the ego through the breath, through prayer, and really decoding the message of their soul that is apparent or that is necessary for the moment to receive. So yeah,
Well, I'll make sure to put your details underneath.
yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
And thank you again so, 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 so much. This has been such a joy. I feel really blessed. Um,
Yeah,
so
same, same. Thank you for having me.